ଆପଣଙ୍କର
हेलो हेलो
हाँ मैडम
हेलो
ठीक अच्छे हेलो
ओके
हाँ मैडम हाँ
अच्छा गुड इवनिंग स्टूडेंट
मोडारू कनेक्ट करजो कि तो मोडारू ए
Good evening, ma'am.
all
मोडारू को
students
मोडारू
kindly
Good evening, ma'am.
Good evening,
all
ma'am.
students kindly mute your audio
ओके मैम
ओके
okay अच्छा you are comfortable with English or any language Korean
English.
okay
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah.
English will be all right.
Ma'am,
okay
English will be all
no
right.
problem so I
English
am
audio both.
completely audible to all of you
Yes, ma'am.
okay let's start the class first okay write down all the roll numbers of yours in your chat box all mute your audio all mute your audio
Ma'am, I can't hear the sound. Ma'am, I can't hear the sound.
କହିଥିଲେ ଦବା ପାଇଁ
ये कौन आउची okay
Ma'am,
all
it's too much echo.
students audio pass इको होची तो माने म्यूट कले तो हबो ना नले इको हबो okay ठीक है
Okay, ma'am.
this is your first class hello is this your first class
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes the paper is 2 to 1
Yes, ma'am.
you just okay when I ask some question you just raise your hand in your chat box okay not necessary to answer me because it will very disturb kind of things huh?
Okay, ma'am.
So this is 2 to 1 library and society okay so library and society it means these two terms are quietly interlinked with each other that is why this paper name carrying library and society okay no problem in the meantime you may ask some questions or you may answer some my questions okay so library and society the name or I mean, its name seems that library and society must be interlinked with each other am I right kindly tell me someone raise your hand
Yes,
and
ma'am.
tell me how library and society is interlinked with each other any idea any idea any idea just tell me really roughly you just tell me no okay library and society what is library the term library what you understand when I say it's a library what picture comes in your eyes a building a hall occupied with lots of books okay so why these books are preserved in library why
Ma'am, can I answer?
yes tell me
Ma'am, we preserve books in library because there we can go and read anytime we want.
tell me what
Ma'am, we can go library anytime and we can read those books because
okay very we can go library anytime and we can read. We can read for the sake of knowledge because we are knowledge seekers. Always we
And ma'am,
want some kind. Uh,
and
always
ma'am, we actually we can't keep many books in our home. So library is the best place where we can go and read those.
very good, very good. A kind of thing that it is a place where a reader finds many types of books. Okay, and why the reader goes to the library? To upgrade his or her knowledge. So reader, who the reader? We the reader. Who the we are? We are living in the society. So we are going to the library to upgrade our knowledge. So it depends on development of the society and the knowledge of our. These are very interlinked with each other. Okay. The knowledge people and the library seekers. The library seekers means the knowledge seekers. Those who are really interested to go to the library and to upgrade themselves. So our development is related to the library developments. Okay. So the books are preserved in the library. You may search a books that has been printed previously 50 years back, 100 years back. You can also find some kinds of palm leaves over there. Have you ever seen the palm leaves in the library?
Yes.
No, ma'am.
No, ma'am. No,
No.
ma'am.
The in the pre-era time, okay, in our olden age, these books are not there. The printed books were not there. So the types of recording, the types of data or the types of knowledge they have been recorded in which form? In the manuscript form. So these types of recording they have kept where? In a place for all for the next generation use. So generation to generation, they know the history of our society. That is why all the recorded things, all the human thoughts that has been recorded in which format it may be, it has been preserved in a place where later on this place named as library. Okay. So, and from ancient to modern era, the types of recording methodology has been changed. In the pre-era time, all the information, all the developmental stages have been recorded in the mountain, and the wall, and inside the cave. Have you ever read? Have you knew all these things? Pre-era people, they have kept all their development, all their lifestyles. In which format? They have recorded inside the caves of the walls. Okay. Asoka Silalipi. Have you ever heard this term? Asoka Silalipi.
Yes, ma'am.
Exactly. When you in the Bhubaneswar, there is a place at Bhauli. Yeah, you may visit over there and see. There is a big stone. All the written things we may not be understand because there is a different type of script at that time. Not Hindi, not Odia, not English. At that time, the script they have been recorded in the big stones, on the big stones inside the caves work. So development of the society. So we are living in a developed society, and they are living in a particular society. The society changed from that time to this time. Ridiculously, it has been changed. The change occurred when we know our past. Okay. If you want to develop something, you must. What is our interest? If you are a developer or a scientist, he or she want to develop something, he must search the past of the particular time. If you know the past, so the development style or the progress of development will be very easy. So information what we kept or the knowledge what we kept inside the library, that is for the generation use. Generation to generations, we may use that particular thing. If there is no library, no documentation, so we never know what kind of thing or what our history, what the development has already been done over their time. We never know. Right, brothers? When you want to know something about the Wright brothers, you must search the past books, written books, that time books, what they have written about the Wright brothers and the development of the aeroplanes. Then only new development the aeroplane have been started, and the aeroplane or the aeroplane what we are using or what you see, that is from Wright brothers era to this era. So for the documentation purpose, library, the term library have come up. So library and society, these are interlinked. So we will definitely go to the unit 1 that carries libraries, information, knowledge-based society. We'll go over there. Objectives of this paper is that the
Ma'am, one
characteristics
question.
of, okay.
Ma'am, at the time of before prehistory, that is the Indus
Hmm.
Valley civilizations, how they use, how they collect all the informations in a book or anything that have, then how they use
No,
it.
that time there was no book at all. Huh. Indus Valley civilizations, we only read in our history books. We never seen. So history book, that is the excavation process was there. Huh. Excavation process, what the materials they have got. Huh. At the time of excavations, they have related these materials to modern era documentation. What's the modern era documentation? The document already have mentioned about the what you have said, Indus Valley civilizations. They have related the excavation process. They found some kind of materials that have been used or utensils. They relate these things. Not exactly the documentation or the printing books at that time was there. Okay. No printing books. We just relate the materials found in the time of excavations. Okay. Then they have the written history has started. What they are used, the lifestyles of the Indus Valley civilizations people at the Mohenjo-daro Harappa, the bathroom styles or the society. All this they have got through the excavation process. I am telling about you the documentation process. The library comes up for the documentation process. The printing press, the manuscripts, what we have already preserved in our library. We never preserve the things they have printed on the wall. Asoka Shilalipi, it is a preserved things. They have excavated and they have kept in a particular place for the preservations. What we are preserved, library is a preservation place. Okay, our subject is to preserve the documents, preserve the informations for generation use. Excavation process, excavation things, there are the different subject is there. Okay, library science is not meant for the excavation. So objectives of this paper is to explain the characteristics of the modern society, then types of institute founded by it to meet its activities, then dimensions of the libraries, we are going to read all these things. And the concept of information society, all things we are going to read. Because we are, you are in a correspondence mode of thing. So basically maximum 10 class for a particular one paper, I think. In one paper, you are allowed to sit 10 classes, I think. So we have to finish all these things within 10 classes. So we are definitely straight goes to the subject, modern society and its characteristics. We are living in a new era that is called the modern society. Why we give the name of the modern society? Because the consumer, because we are the product is a library or the information in modern society. We may call it as a product because we are using it. Okay, so we have the consumer today is different from the consumer yesterday. Every time the consumer, the reader of the library is changing. Okay. Today's library is in our hand. What is that? Google. Google is a library. Anything, any information you want, you need, you just noise is there. You please mute your audio. Or it is very difficult to take the class to online mode. Mute your audio first.
Recent.
Ma'am, someone.
Please mute your audio.
Okay, ma'am.
Okay. In the present day, with better education opportunities, both literacy and information technology literacy rates are improving. Okay. Technology is rapidly increasing day by day. The place, what we call library, if you go to the library in particular time, you found very less readers are sitting over there, 2 to 3, 4 to 5, 10 to 12 maximum. Because nowadays, libraries in our hand. What is that? Google library, web library. Any information, the readers need any kind of information, current, nascent information or the past information, the Google tell you. So the style of reading or the approach to the library is really changing, rapidly changing. The school students, when we are in the schools, we hardly use library, our school library. But this times, all the school students, they are in library. Which library? Web library. What is that? Google, Byju's, everything in their hands. So, in the changing context, library term is also changed. What is that? It is not confined in a particular hall or in a particular room or in a particular building. It is in our hand. The web style of library. This is called virtual library also. So in the modern society, the general trend is for organizations and nations to globalize and work in a burdenless, open manner. Burdenless, open manner. There is no burden. What is burden? The communications. To go to a particular library, what you take? You just take your bike or take auto or take a rickshaw, then go and spend some time. It's a burden. And what is that? And nowadays, we are not going anywhere. We are just sitting in our home and using library. Which library? Virtual library. It is also a library. Google is also a library. So changing trend. In this changing trend, library term has already changed. So, what is the role of libraries in society? Then, yes, when thinking of libraries, people have many different images in front of. What is in front of? Many different images people are there. By stepping back from individual cases and examining the context in which library services are provided and the trends which are likely to affect them in future, it is possible to arrive at some conclusion about how libraries' roles are likely to develop and to start to answer the central question. Do libraries have a central role to play, or are they in fact a simple acronym? In this present context, is there any role to play library? Yes, it is. You may pick a mobile in your hand. You search anything through this Google search engine. But library has definitely a big role. So library as a collections. What is library? The library as an organization of resource sharing. The library as a provider of access. Is a provider of access. Just 10 minutes before a student answers me, said it is a place we can go and search anything as our interest. So, if we closely examine the dominant... Okay.
Ma'am, I have a question.
Okay.
Ma'am, anywhere where we are getting information, can we say that is a library?
No. Library is something else. That is why I will answer all these things later on in our course. Okay. Library is a big context. The information you are getting through Google, Google is a library. But one thing is that Google is a web library, web search engine. But the authenticity of the query, what you are putting in the Google, all the many answers have come. Okay. So who gives the authentications? It is right or wrong. Many things are comes to the inside the Google. So authenticity. When you open a book, in the first or second page, you may find. I'll just show you. If I have, then I'll just show you. Just a forwarded note is there. Is this? It is visible. It is visible, but I am.
Yes,
Not
No,
fully.
no, ma'am, not clearly visible.
Not clear.
Ma'am, which page? Ma'am, which page? Which page, ma'am? Which page? Which page?
This is a forward page. Okay. Forward page.
Forward page.
No, you didn't find.
No, ma'am.
Every book you just find a forward page.
Forward page. Forward page. Forward page.
Any book is a
Ma'am, I think it is, ma'am, I think it is written preface. Preface is that it.
it is a page. Not here. Any page, you just open it, you find a forward page. If you write a book, there is a group of authentication agency, the people. You have to submit your books over there. They will read all things, and they have given a forward letter because this book is really good. The fact the books bear is truth. Okay, or the authenticity is there. When a reader goes to the library, the information he or she find in the library is definitely 100% true information. But the information you are searching through the web, it may not be sure 100% true answers comes. Many fake things are there. Nobody is there to authenticate it. It is clear? The authentication of the information is very, very essential. You may face many problems in YouTube, in Google. When you put a questions, 100 answers comes out. Hundreds of answers. These people says this thing. Somebody says this thing. The Journal of America, this thing. But many journals, they are given it as a free journals, or the many books in a PDF format you may find. It is definitely authenticated books. Okay. And random answers, the Google's you find in a Google and the random answers that comes out, it is not authenticate. It's not authenticate. You never go through this. Okay. So anything you find anywhere and the answer comes, it's not a library. Library has a different meaning, different culture. It is a place of worship. You may treat it as a place of worship. Very pious thing is a library. The current model of a library is relatively straightforward. The library is the interface between the users and the vast amount of published and unpublished information available. Published means it has some, it passed. It is the authenticated documents. Okay. Most libraries place great emphasis on their role in facilitating and supporting learning. They are the supporting learning, all the supporting documents. To enhance your study, library will help you. The issue for libraries is to provide a range of services which support lifelong learners who choose to learn in any one of the many modes, and probably in a personal mix or all modes. You can choose any mode of reading. You may borrow the books and take library books from library to the home, or you may go there and straight sit over there, and you may read a direct method or indirect method. You can use your library can support in any way, in indirect mode or direct mode. So the shifts taking place in libraries: custodian of books, service oriented information provider, one medium, own collections. You may collect many books and open your library at your home in good time, just in time. Readers are there just to take of interest. They just use libraries every day for 1 hour. That is their interest. Local reach. Local reach means it's very near place. When you are residing, the very near place there is a library. So it is your interest. It is locally the library is situated. So I may go library every day. So there is a different modes and different styles of using libraries. Then there has been an information. We have to go speedily. Okay, rapidly we have to go. So there has been an information of contemporary society. The whole information environment or infosphere is understood to be of growing importance. Even at the, is there any problem that you just ask me some questions? Okay, there is no. Even at the untutored level of experience, there is widespread of awareness that information in some ways is affecting a transformation of the social world. We are living in today's state in an information days. Anything you want to know, that you ask to somebody. Somebody may have informed. Somebody may have informed from other persons. It may be mass communications through, or it may be one-to-one, or it may be person-to-persons. So we all informed from any mode. From any mode means either from mass media, from persons, communications, or anything. But we have to inform as per our interest. As we are knowledge people. What? You just tell me. What are your question? What is your question? Any questions? Okay. No. So
No, ma'am.
our topic is information society. What is that? Evolution of the concept. I have already told you. The concept of information society emerged during the 1970s and throughout the 1980s. Before that, what is that? Industrial society, agricultural society. But the concept of information society emerged during the 1970s and throughout the 1980s. Rapidly gained popularity and currency. It is proponents ranging from scholars and academic authors to popular writers. So these decades, 1970s to 1980s, it is called as the information society. Information society started from 1970s onwards. Prior to this, the society called as industrial society, agricultural society. So you just remember from 1970 onwards, information society, the term information society emerged. Okay. In the post-industrial societies, that is, Bale argued that the increased part played by science in the productive process, okay, the rise to prominence of professional, scientific and technical groups and the introduction of the computer technology are all the evidence of a new axial principles at the core of the socio-economic system. So development of the computer science, computer technology, scientific, and the prominence of professionals and scientific and technical groups, the emergency or the information society emerged in the 1970s to 1980s. Okay.
Ma'am, can I ask a question?
Okay.
Ma'am, is there any particular definition for library, or we can give any kind of definition given by any author?
No, there is a particular kind of definitions for library. I will give you. No problem. You just wait. I will give you all things.
Okay, okay. And ma'am, one more question.
The word,
Means
word
before.
library has come from the Latin word liber, which means books. Okay, there's many definitions
Okay,
are there.
okay.
You may go
Ma'am,
through.
Okay. Ma'am, one more
hello,
question.
ma'am.
And
Okay.
before agriculture society, is there any society, or that one is the first one?
Then agriculture society people have lived from prior to agriculture society is a barbarian life. Okay,
Okay, okay.
nomad
From
society, nomadic
so
life.
we have to know from agriculture society, right?
The
Ma'am,
civilization
Okay.
society
Okay, ma'am. Thank you.
from agriculture
excuse.
industrial then our
Okay,
information
ma'am.
society. Okay,
Thank you, ma'am.
Okay, ma'am.
there are many
Hello.
definitions. Okay,
Hello.
tell me.
Ma'am, does
Uh,
library only refer to books only, or other or any other mediums of information can be referred to
I have
library?
already told you. I have already told you. If you regarding palm leaves, you find many palm leaves. If you go to the museum, have you ever visited State Museum of Bhubaneswar?
Yes, ma'am.
No. It is a library. It
Okay.
is a preservation place. What they
Preservation
have
place.
kept? Many stones, many styles of stones, many etiquette, many utensils. That is all library. For a research prospect, when you visit to the museum, all things, it is a supporting document for your research.
Okay.
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 So everything preserved. The printing form, it is a very new concept. It's a printing form. Prior to this, there is a palm leaves. Prior to this, I have already told that is a they have carved on the walls of the mountains or inside the caves. These are all
Okay.
supporting documents.
Okay. Thank
I will go later on. So there are many definitions, many things, but we have to go to the your topic because only 10 class I have. I don't know
Okay.
in an online sessions I may find 10 class or not. Last session I just I have taken only 4 classes to the students in the last year due to this COVID. I don't know how many classes you will get. So I will go rapidly.
Okay, ma'am.
Okay, there is a different perception of the information society. What is that? Technological perception. Perception means what? To look into. Perception means to look into. Technological perception. From technological perception, we have to analyze this library and society. What is one perception? Second, economic perception. When you look into through the economic perception, it means different. When you look into technological perception, it looks or it means different. Then technological perception was economic perceptions. And then third one is your occupational perception, spatial perception, cultural perception. One by one we'll go. First we'll go technological perception. What is there? The most common perspective of information society lays emphasis on spectacular technological innovations. It's everybody knows technological innovation, the development of the technology, science and technology. The important idea is that breakthroughs in information processing, storage, and transmission have led to the application of information technology in virtually all the areas of society. Virtually, Google, laptop, your mobile, everything is virtually spreaded. Okay. When you put something in a WhatsApp group, all will catch in 1 second. Hundreds of people. It's a rapid sharing. So ideas sharing, the most important characteristics of libraries, sharing of information. Due to technological innovations, sharing of information is rapidly, we are massively using this information from one person to another. Massively spreading. So technological perception, libraries is really changed its scenario. Okay. In virtually all the areas of society, all the IT occupies a central role in the literature on information society. All the IT occupies, information technology occupies a central role in all the literature or information society. Nowadays, what the library is doing, All the printed books format, they have scanned it and preserved it in a e-format, electronic format. What for? Because if a particular book is available in a library for a particular author, it is a group, I'm just reading it. It is a practical work in geography by S. Samantha. Okay. It is a book. It's a one copy. A library is kept in a Bhubaneswar State Library. You just go and find in a geography A. Samantha. One copy is there. You have 10 numbers of students. It's very difficult to use and very difficult for a librarian to share one book among 10 students or 10 readers. So nowadays, for the massive use, for the rapid sharing, all the libraries are centrally what they are doing. They are just scan it and make it in a digital format and stored in their computer. 10, 15, 20 numbers of readers, you go and search this particular books. You just sit in a terminal and use it at a time. So what is that? Now, information technology occupies a central role in our changing society. The convergence of computing and telecommunication resulted in the linking of computers, enabling the establishment of global network. If a reader wants some kind of information or some pages, previously what we did, we just borrowed the book from the library and take it to the Xerox shop, then make out all the pages. The pages, number of pages we want, we just make out the Xerox of it. Then after 10 times you make a Xerox of a particular books, what the situation of books will, what will the situation of the book? It will be rotten. So when a digital books, what we can do, we just share through our pen drive or CD format or just link to our what is that, email. There is no chance of rotten the informations. So what is that? The role of information technology is really a central is taking a central role for modern society. When you look into the number 2 is economic perception. Some of the authors who write about information society point to the growth of the service sector in the industrialized nations and the decline of the employment in manufacturing. For some authors, the dominant characteristics of an information society is the nature of its economy. What is that? Mackup said in the 1962, the person named Mackup initiated this research perspective by analyzing the growth of the knowledge sector. In the US economy, the market analysis industry is primarily concerned with production and distribution of knowledge. So it is knowledge industries. He treated it is a knowledge industries, production and distribution. Author writing a books means production. They are the producer groups, and we are using it. The readers reading it. What is that? Production, distributions, libraries preserved it and disseminating it among the readers. Although it is production and distribution of knowledge, so it is called as a knowledge industries. The knowledge industries included such areas as educational system, the media and other communicative activities, libraries and other information activities, and research institutes. So the contribution of the sectors to the gross national product was found to be significant. So they treated it as a knowledge industry. Economics. In an economic perception, they treated as a knowledge society. What is economic perception? Loss, profit and loss. Economics means what? Profit and loss. Arthaniti. Profit and loss. This is why they said it is a product produced by a particular author, and when it is being distributed among the readers, they have paid for these books. They are paid for these books and they purchase the books. So the society, the growth of economy. If it is increased, then it is a profitable business. If it is decreased, then it's not profitable business. So economic perception, they regarded it as a industries, knowledge industries. Then occupational perception. Another popular measures of the emergency of an information society is the one that focuses on occupational change. What is occupation change? What is occupation change? Agricultural society, the most popular occupation was agriculture, farmers. Industrial society, popular occupations were the labor group, the producer group. Okay. And now, what is the occupational changes? Let's read. The contention is that we have achieved an information society when the predominance of occupations is found in information. That is to say, in information society, the number of people employed in occupation such as teaching, research and development and activities associated with creative industries. What is that? Creative industries, media, design, arts. Out of those employed in, so occupation changed. Agricultural society, occupation, mostly the occupation at that time was farmers. And in the industrial era, what is the occupations? Labor or the producer or the. And when it comes to the information society, the popular occupation was teaching, research, development, IT sectors, and the creative industries, media, design, mass communications, journalists. So the main characteristics of these people is high level of education. The occupational definition of information society is often combined with an economic measures. In social perception, we just go to the, let's go to the spatial perception. What is that? This perception of the information society has at its core the distinctive stress on space. Here the major emphasis is on the information networks that connect location and as a result have great effect on the organization of time and space. What is that? This aspect has been considered as an index of information society in recent years. This is very new term. The spatial perception is a very new immersed terms. The centrality of information networks linking together locations within and between towns, regions, nations, and continents. Spatials and networks. It's a particular area, amongst particular area. There is a range. What is that? So the centrality of information networks linking together locations within and between towns, regions, nations, and continents, and indeed the entire world, is an important consideration of spatial perspective. In many writings, the technological basis of the information networks is emphasized because these networks provide the infrastructure that enables information to be processed and distributed. You got it? Spatial perception means information when it released, the range of covers. Range of cover means how much it covers the area. It is if it is a sign, if it is a particular just if it is a chemistry paper and it is being published in a conference. And so it's very essential for the globally it may be used, then very rapidly this particular paper of a particular scientist may be purchased by America, may be purchased by the Science Society of London. If the impact of information, it depends upon the impact of information released. If the particular notification comes for the government of Odisha and it is raised for the farmers only, Krishi Abhiyana, or for the benefits of farmers, a particular information released by the government of Odisha. So what will the information in the purview of Odisha? Is a particular information released by our esteemed Prime Minister Modi? Huh? Huh? Tell me. The question, please raise your question. Please raise your question. Okay, no problem. So, it's depend upon the strength of the informations. Then, it's depend upon the strength of informations. It's related to the coverage of the information. That is why it is called spatial perception. Is the information published by the Chemistry Society of India, and it may be used for. It's not audible. Your question is not audible to me. Can you tell me loudly? Okay. I can't hear your question. So spatial means the coverage of the information. The range of information it will touch, or it will go the area, the coverage of the information, the area of information, the particular information covered. It is called spatial informations or the spatial perception. Then we cultural perception. Developments such as invention of radio, television, and computers, coupled with the recent advances in telecommunications networks and media technologies, are having great impact on the lifestyles of the people as a whole. Media has really a great impact on the lifestyles of the people, because if you find or if you go to the anybody's home at the 7 to 9 p.m. evening, you find every members or every females members, they are busy in watching television. What they are watching? The serials, the ladies, they are mostly interested for the serials coming through the OTV, ETV, any channels. And most of the boys, if it is there is a one-day match or the IPL match, so most of the times the boys or the male members, they are busy with this. So media has an impact. Media has a great impact on the people as a whole. So it is stated that presently we are living in a media-laden society, and the informational features of our world are thoroughly penetrative now than in earlier times. The core perception I have taught you, just tell one by one what I have already told to you. Anybody? You just tell me. The perception
Economical
I have already.
perception.
Huh?
Economical perception.
Economical, okay.
Technological perception, economical perception, occupational perception, spatial perception.
Cultural perception, special perception.
Economic perception.
Cultural perception.
Economic.
Yes.
Occupation, special, cultural, economical, and technological.
Very good, very good. So, I'm telling one thing. This is a complete theory paper. Nothing new is there. I'm going to share with you. Everything has been documented very, very vividly in your IGNO books. Okay. We have to learn, because when I'm teaching, many things you may remember. That is the main motto of taking your classes. Or everything you find in your books. It's complete theory paper. Okay, 1 hour more, I think. I'll go What I will take, I'm just a minute. I will just cover important parts of the. Everybody has muted, then why this issue is coming? Please mute just mute your audio.
दुशासन भाई म्यूट करो.
I'm just touching the important portion. I'm going to teach you. Or else many things are there. It's not possible to finish all things in your 10 classes.
मैम टाइप्स ऑफ लाइब्रेरी पढ़ा दी.
पढ़ेंगे ठीक है. How many
तो
types
5
of
लॉस पढ़ा.
library do you know? You just tell me how many types of library are exactly you are knowing. One by one.
मैम बिल्कुल आइडिया नहीं.
मैम नॉर्मली
मैम बिल्कुल
मैम पब्लिक एकेडमिक मैम वी कैन डिवाइडेड पब्लिक लाइब्रेरी.
Very good. Huh?
Academic library,
Then,
special library,
special
and national library also.
You know everything. So what is necessary to take your classes? Okay, very roughly, everybody knows there is this academic libraries. What is that academic library?
Related to colleges.
The library is inside in our academic
Related to colleges. Okay, ma'am.
School, college, university.
University.
School, college, university. Okay.
Research organizations.
And roughly, we also know that there is a public library, district library, state library. They are all public libraries. Why it is called as a public library? Because there is no restriction of caste, creed, education to use the library materials. Okay. But in academic libraries, there is a restriction. What is that? The reader must have been enrolled in that particular institution. You must have the students of that particular institution. If you are a student of BJP college, then you are eligible to allow the BJP college library. But in public libraries, such kind of things are not necessary for using the public library documents. Public means we all. So all people of the societies are eligible to use the library materials that are been kept in public library. There is also a library we call as a special library. Why this is special? Because special category of readers, they are eligible to allow the materials. You can take your medical library, you may call as a special library. Only the doctors people are allowed to go inside the library. And law libraries also you can call as a special library. Research libraries also you may call as a special library. So libraries, types of, if you go to the libraries and types of libraries, national libraries, it's a broader concept, national libraries, academic libraries, public libraries, special libraries, digital libraries, virtual libraries, hybrid libraries. Digital, virtual and hybrids, these three are very, very recently added libraries to the previous libraries. What is previous? National, academic, public, special. These digital, virtual, hybrids are very newly emergent library that has been added to this particular group of libraries. So we will go one by one. First is national libraries. It's a very broader concept. What is that? The concept of national library is a recent development dating back to a few centuries. National library is a library specially established by the government of a country. It's a broader context. Okay. A national library is a library specially established by the government of a country to serve as the preeminent repository of information for that country. Pre-repository of information for that country. Unlike public libraries, national libraries rarely allow citizens to borrow books. There is no chance of borrowing books, no provisions. Only materials, the literatures have been kept for generation use, for the country use. Unlike public libraries, national libraries rarely allow citizens to borrow books. Often, they include what the National Library includes: rare, valuable, or significant works. Though many national and international conferences discuss the subject of national libraries, there is no one agreed definitions for the concept of national libraries. So, the literature, the particular, if you go to the law library, you may find the various kind of law books will be there. If you go to the medical library, you may find medical science books are there. But for the national library, there is no particular defined subjects is there. It depends upon the quality and the value of the information, value of the documents are kept over there. So, there is no one agreed definition for the concept of national libraries. There is no definition, valid, no one has agreed definitions for a national libraries. It depends upon the value, depend upon the information's growth, depend upon the rare versions, endangered species. You know, you must be heard endangered species. Matlab rare. So rare documents are kept in national libraries for the generation use. Of course, there are wider definition putting less emphasis to the repository character. So librarians
example of national library. Examples of national library.
INSDOC is a national library. DECIDOC is a national library. Okay. Rare documents are there. Valuable documents are kept over there for country use. INSDOC, DECIDOC, many hybrid libraries.
मैम कोलकाता में भी है एक नेशनल लाइब्रेरी है.
हाँ, कलकत्ता नेशनल लाइब्रेरी. Calcutta National Library. You have visited over there? You have visited Calcutta Library?
No, ma'am.
नहीं मैम खाली ना सुनी जो मैं.
ना सुनी जो. National Library. Okay. A library maintained out of the government funds. The characteristics. Oh, what is the National Library? A library maintained out of the government funds, serving the nation as a whole. Books in it being for reference only, usually copyright libraries. The functions of such library is to collect and preserve for posterity the books, periodical, newspaper, and other documents published in the country. In the Delhi, there is a Delivery Book Act 1952. They have decided in this act, it has been decided that every publishers has to be sent one copy of published books to the National Library. One copy of a published book to the National Library. It is used for every publishers. So there is number of public publishers are in our present in our country. So they have published number of books in a year. So every published book has to be sent to the National Library. It is mandatory. So you find a copy of every public's books in National Library. So whole country's published books you may find in our National Library, Kolkata. Okay, each and every books. The function of such library is to collect, preserve the books, periodical, newspaper, and other documents published in the country. This is the best done by a law requiring the publisher to deposit copies of all publications issued by them. Books purchased being published in other countries. National Library, all the publisher has to send a copy of a published books to the National Library. Also, our country also purchased many books, periodicals from other countries, and it is being preserved in our national libraries. Okay. So, a far more detailed exposition of the term National Library may be obtained from the recommendation of UNESCO entitled United Nations Education Scientific Supplement. They entitled Recommendation Concerning International Standardization of Library Statistics. What is National Library? UNESCO defines libraries which, irrespective of titles, are responsible for acquiring and conserving copies of all significant publications published in the country and functioning as a deposit library either by a law or under other arrangements. It will normally perform some of the following functions. So, it is a depository kind of library. Produce a national bibliography. What is bibliography? It is a list. So, national libraries are responsible to produce or to publish a bibliography because all the books that have been published in a particular country, a copy of a published books has to be sent to the national libraries. So, all copies are there. So, they are authorized to publish a national bibliography for a particular country. Hold and keep up to date large representative collections of foreign literature also, including books about the country. Act as a national bibliographical information center. Bibliography means what? This literature, books, periodicals, collectively known as bibliography. Compile union catalog. This is your first class. That is why you must be unaware about the term cataloging. Cataloging means data about a particular document. The author, the publishers, the publication year, how many pages a particular book carries. So this is a whole total, we called it as the cataloging systems. So compile union catalog. National Libraries is responsible to compile union catalog. Publish retrospective bibliographies. Retrospective bibliographies means, retro means what? Past, olden. So publish retrospective bibliographies. So area or the purview is too high. So area and purview and the functions also is very, very high in comparison to the academic or public libraries. Okay. The exposition is rather comprehensive and covers most of the important functions of the National Library. What are other functions? To provide leadership among libraries, to serve as a permanent depository for all publications issued in the country, to acquire other types of materials, to provide bibliographical services. I have already told you, bibliographical services, permanent depository and leadership among libraries, acquire other types of materials also, to serve as coordinating center for cooperative activities, joint activities. It serves as a coordinating center to provide service to government. It is liable to provide service to government. Any kind of information government needs, they first ask to the National Library. The government first search the information or search the documents that have been kept in national libraries. So perfume is very faded. So acquisition and processing of library material for other libraries, recycling and disposing of materials acquired for other libraries. It is also national libraries work. Central support of reference, consultation, loan and document delivery services by other libraries. Advice to other libraries. So in hierarchical position, national library position is in the top. So National Library is the topmost library in our country or in a particular country. It must be emphasized here that from the perspective of the National Library in terms of functions, leaving aside medium of content, the National Library provides a cultural focal point which transcends the present and reaches into the past. Because every documents are there, every published books are being preserved in national libraries. So it is the functions of the national libraries to compile bibliographies. So national libraries cannot shoulder all of these responsibilities on their own, and they are joined by major academic and other libraries. So national libraries is not carries all the responsibilities on its soldiers. So jointly, it always needed the help of the big academic libraries, means universities libraries. National libraries always need the support of the universities libraries to make all the work done. So looking into the features of the national library, more or less you just know about the, briefly you understand the national library functions. So National Library of India, Calcutta, collections. It may be emphasized here that National Library of India located in Kolkata has more than 2.2 million books and other materials. Can you understand? 2.2 million books. Can you imagine? The collection is built through the following means. So, what are the collection? Books received through delivery of Books Newspaper Act 1956. It is the act. Here, the act passed that every published book has to be sent to the National Library, Kolkata. So, book received through delivery of Books and Newspaper Act 1956. Then also some purchased books, also some gifts books, exchange and other depository privilege. So the majority of collection is in English and Indian languages, though there are some books in foreign languages also are preserved in National Library. The broad categories of publications acquired through purchase are books and journals published before 1954, means rare books. Rare books that has been purchased by the national libraries for the sake of generation use, for the sake of future use, national libraries have purchased many rare books from the foreign countries. Indian publication published before 1954 and not available in the library. So it is also rare books. Books by Indian author published abroad. In foreign countries, there are many Indian authors, they are publishing books. So these books are being purchased by national libraries. Then standards, reference works, books on library, documentation, information sciences. These are the collections of the national libraries. Okay. Then we'll go to the academic libraries, because we have to finish the types of libraries today only. Academic libraries. So academic libraries, more or less, you know, that is the school libraries, college libraries, universities libraries. So school libraries means the librarian of the school libraries has responsibilities of not only maintaining the libraries, but also getting involved in activities that would complement and supplement classroom teaching. Here, mostly the materials that has been preserved in school libraries are classroom teaching supporting documents. Okay, the document which will support the classroom teaching, which will support the student assignment or the students' examinations. It is necessary for librarian to possess teaching skills, storytelling, books, talks, demonstrating the lives of birds and animals through audio-visual aids. The interesting thing, because main motto of the school library is to attract the school students towards school libraries. Because school students are really not interested to go to the library and to use the library materials. So it is the duty of the librarian to arrange some kinds of fun games or storytelling methods, to adopt some kinds of methods, and through this method, students of the school students, they will motivate to use the library materials. Okay. So most of these activities call for imaginations of both in design and presentation. This is their imagination and design. The library, it is solely dependent upon the librarian of the school. The method he or she that will adopt, that will motivate the students to attract the library. Okay, attract towards the library. So most of these activities call for imaginations both in the design and presentation. He or she should develop a participative approach with the teachers and play a supportive roles. A school library should offer some of these services to its clientele or to its readers. This clientele means readers. Lending means borrowing books. Students are what the students need. They just go to the library and choose that particular books of their interest, and issue it. The librarian, there is a process of issuing the books. Student issue the books for some periods of times, for 7 days or 10 days. It's depend upon the school's rules, regulations, and they just take it and read whole things at their home, and a particular time they just return it. This is the lending process. Then information and reference services. Atlas, maps, mostly school libraries, they are kept these materials. Guidance and advisory services. Perception of reading list, both anticipatory and responsive basis, mostly not used. Service and current events, activities, sports, personalities, means Mahatma Gandhi, Subhash Bose, Nehru, these personalities, Sachin Tendulkar, Dhoni. This kind of books, mostly school students are really interested to read. Then other routine services. It may be pointed out that the situation relating school libraries in India presents a dismal picture of needs considerable improvements. In this connection, it is worth pursuing the recommendation of the Secondary Education Commission. These are not essential for you. The school, mostly you know the functions of the school library, the types of material, the school library, they have been kept in the school libraries, and the types of the readers. Only 3 things you may know. Then we will go to the college libraries. College education, the school to college libraries, the students really different, because the school libraries, they are in a seminal stage, means the first stage of using the library. They are the first stage of to know how to use the library books. They are the school students, but in the college, they know what is the library, what the books or what the materials the libraries are keeping. So the major functions of the college library may be some as under what is that? Giving the young mind a wider and deeper understanding of the different disciplines. Here the disciplines are more. In the school, disciplines are less. Preparing the students for advanced studies, competitive, mostly the college library, competitive books are mostly they are being kept, because the youth people, they are mostly ready for the examinations, for the professions, for the profession they want to make their career. Then preparing the girls and boys for soldiering higher responsibilities, providing adequate reading facilities, providing special materials to faculty necessary for the research. So for translating the above functions into the practice, the college library needs certain keys of components. What is that? A collection of books and other learning materials as per their syllabus, the identification of user communities, which comprises students, teachers, and the college management, physical facilities like building, furniture, equipment, most comfortable things are there. In school library, you may not find a comfortable region to sitting in the library. Very common desk and bench are there, but in college library, some standards they are maintained for furniture, buildings, everything. Professional staffs of the library, And the finance and budgets, there is a particular finance because disciplines are increased in the college. Physics, chemistry, biology, humanities, all the humanities subjects. That is why finance and budgets is also a matter in the college libraries. So in order to meet the varied academic and extracurricular needs of both students and the teachers, the college library should acquire a wide range of learning and teaching materials. Then the librarian, the staff, the global selection schools should bring to the attention of experts worthwhile titles on different subjects to build a collection of adequate to meet the learning and teaching requirement. So the important service to be provided by a college library comprise what is that? Textbook services. Mostly students are borrowed textbooks from the college libraries, lending and interlibrary loan, reading room services. There is a particular reading room you may find in a college libraries. Students go there and sit, you may say 2 to 3 hours and make their notes over there. Collective reading over, they also did their collective readings, joint readings, group readings, information and reference services, document services and specific requests. The range of information from school to college are really changes. Display of current journals and new acquisitions. And then audio visual services also there, CD-ROM, computer rooms. Then reprographic facilities mean Xerox facilities are also available in the college libraries. Then universities libraries. What is that? Learning and teaching, same thing. Research and generation of new knowledge. Dissemination of publications, research results, mostly journals are being maintained in the universities libraries. Then conservation of knowledge and ideas, extension and services. Development of a collection in a wide range of subjects from learning, teaching, research and publication, etc. There is a word research and publication is added in universities libraries. There is no word you may find in academic libraries means college libraries, research and publication. But in an universities libraries, learning, teaching, research and publication, these two words are added in the universities libraries because research people you may find because PhD course is there in universities. That is why research publications, journals, recent journals, they are maintaining research, they are acquiring, accessing through internet also. Then getting the stock of knowledge material organized and maintained for use, organizing and providing a variety of library documentation and information services, both responsive and anticipatory. Anticipatory means student may want in future demand, basing on the future demand. In anticipatory, they kept many materials, they purchased many materials. The user community of universities library generally falls under the following categories. What is the user category? Students at different levels of study in different subjects, teachers imparting instruction and guiding students at different levels and in different subjects, research students working for MPhil and PhD degrees, postdoctoral research scholars working on specific projects, professor, experts, they are the readers in universities libraries, members of various academic and executive bodies of the universities, scholars in general who get special privilege of using the universities libraries. Okay, the major areas of the concerned universities libraries, what is that? Collection development is the major areas, processing and organization. Processing means classification, cataloging, and organization means dissemination information and services. Services means current awareness services and selective dissemination of information services. These are very new terms. Gradually, you may understand what is that selective dissemination of information services or SDI services and CAS, that is current awareness services, professional staff, physical facilities, finance and budget. Finance is a major term. Each one of the above components has a significant role to play in the overall success of the library as a support. So each one of the above components means what? Documents that we have universities procured, research libraries, the building, the furniture, and the budget, the professional staff. Each one has a major role in a university's library. Collection building and organization. A major responsibility of the university's libraries is to build a sound collection of documents carefully geared to the academic needs of the students. So collections building, collections materials is a very, very essential part of the university's libraries. While it is not easy to specifically constitute the best collection, the actual and potential needs of users have to be ascertained to at appropriate intervals. What materials they will collect, they will preserve, and we will call it as the best collections. Never ever, never ever. You may collect, universities may collect thousands of published materials, but they may miss some materials that has been published in UK USA. They may not be purchased whole things for the students. So we may not read the best collection, we have to reach the collections for all categories of the readers, all categories of the subjects under university or in universities they are pertaining. The students are pertaining their studies, PhDs, MPhils, research communities. To satisfy all the groups of the readers, universities always trying to collect, to purchase the documents, the journals, the printing books, and update their collections regularly. The results of citations analysis are being adopted in the acquisition of the current journals. Acquisition of current journals means to acquire, to purchase the current journals. The method they are using, citation analysis. Citation analysis means the journals that have been used many times by many users. That is the citation analysis test are there. And based on this particular test, the acquisition of the current journals, university acquisition of current journals, the method they have been used as for the citation analysis test. The collection must be need-based and representative. In fact, a university is rated high. What is acquisition citation analysis? You just tell me. Anybody understand citation analysis? I have already told you. Please answer me. Anybody? What is citation analysis? Nobody understand? Nobody understood? Anybody? Citation analysis means what? The document, how many times this document, a particular document is being used by how many readers? Okay. Understand? Anybody understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Citation analysis. Yes, citation analysis. It is
Yes,
the
ma'am.
method, universities adopted this method in the acquisition of the current journals because journals are high rated. They are really, really high rated. But there is a fixed budget for journals that has been granted for the universities, for a particular universities. So they may not purchase many journals that has been published globally or in a particular country. That is why they have adopted the method, that is citation analysis method, in the acquisition of the current. So collection need-based and in fact, a university is rated high or low by the quality of collection it builds. Okay? By the quality of collection it builds, the university is rated high or low. So, yeah, library has a major role in mapping the university's high or low standard. The thing must be mixed and so university is rated low by the quality of collection it builds. Okay? provisions. State provisions are the limiting having a comprehensive and balanced. Another important factor in development of a university library concern the proper housing of a large stock areas. So, proper housing is also material classified and right. So, books you to use. Books are in if it is not classified, it is very difficult to find a particular book which is classified and organized place of that easily accessible for anyone to use. In your classification, there is you are going to Ashwini sir also. Ashwini sir, the classification teach you the classification process. It's a book's geography, it is a history. Okay, then mathematics. Many books are there. Sub
Ma'am, your voice is breaking.
Yes, ma'am, it's not audible.
Not
Ma'am, your voice is not audible.
मैम ठीक से सुबह voice टा
नहीं मैडम, from the
नहीं मैम
last
आसुने
15 minutes, last 15 to 20
आसुने
minutes.
आसुने
आगुरु सुबुतला
स्टार्टिंग में सुबुतला एबे 10 मिनट सुबुन ठीक से
वॉइस कट होउची मैम
नेटवर्क आसुने मैम नेटवर्क आसुने आई थिंक
ଏବେ ବି କଟି କଟିକା ଆସୁଛି ମ୍ୟାଡାମ ଭଏସ।
मैडम नले एठू स्टॉप कर दियंतु काई ना किछि भी सुबुनी आउ किछि बुझी भी होनी।
बिल्कुल बिल्कुल सुबुनी मैम बिल्कुल सुबुनी
नहीं ठीक है मोटे सुना बोलेंगे भी
ठीक अच्छे बस कर दबा चैट बॉक्स में लिख दउची ठीक है गोटे मिनिट
हो मैम
कौन करिबी आ सुबु तो नहीं आ मु
now ma'am your audio
voice is not audible.
नहीं मैम आसुनी क्लियर। ओके मैम थैंक यू।
Okay ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am.
ओके मैम थैंक यू।
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you ma'am.
Thank you.
Thank you.